Let's do a Lumen Terminal Pro AI video enhancement test that's not MDR. Praise Kier. Wait. We're going to be doing a Topaz Video AI test and not on a Lumen terminal. We're going to do this on a Mac Studio. So yeah, many of you have been asking for this, and I figure let's do the video AI from Topaz test on these machines. Let's jump right in. I'm ArtIsRight. I'll be sharing lots of results. Please pause the video so you can analyze the result yourself. In addition to the analysis I'll be sharing with you. Timestamp to the only chart in this video will be in the description if you just want to jump ahead. This channel is self-funded. If you find the result useful and helpful to you, if you want to help support the channel, I'll leave a link to my tip jar in the description. YouTube Super Thanks works. Membership in the channel works equally as well. And if you can share this video when it is appropriate with your peers and your colleague, I would greatly appreciate that. And if the only thing that you can do is tapping on that like button, this way YouTube algorithm will push this to an even larger audience, I would appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so, because I would really want to grow the amount of subscribers on this channel. But anyway, I thank you all of you for being here, and do remember this is a one-person show, so be kind in the comments. Now, with this said, I've also done a full ultimate comparison for all of these machines that include a compilation chart for all the other laptop and desktop machines too. If you want to see in the other workflow, I would highly recommend checking out the video that's popping up right now, or the thumbnail for the video that's popping up right now. And I've also done a focus series too, looking at different machines in a lineup this time around, whether the upgrade is worth it or not. So I would give a look at those as well. But do remember that when we're using video AI, this program most of the time is an ancillary to some other task that we are doing in our workflow. If this is your only one, well, then you can just watch this video and not look at the rest. But if you're doing any other creative tasks too, I would definitely check out that video, because it's going to help you a lot more. Now for this, we're going to be taking a look at all these machines. And when it comes to the Max and Ultra, I always say Ultra, especially if you're doing video, is worthwhile, but not so much for Topaz Video AI. Part of the reason why is because the program does not go in and utilize the encoder-decoder engine. I can't tell for a fact or not whether it is going to utilize it, but if it is, it should be way faster for these kind of encodings. And based on the system monitoring that I have been doing, it is definitely going to utilizing the NPU on the system to do the AI model on there, and it's also utilizing the GPU to put things together, but I don't think it's really going to utilizing the encoder and decoder engine. I wish that it does. And I don't know if this is a programming or a pipeline limitation that prevents it from doing so. But if anyone anybody from Topaz that want to enlighten me on that, I would love to hear about those results. Here are some of the other machines you're going to see the result for, and it's sadly going to end at the M4 Pro. I don't have time right now to really be testing just the regular Mac Silicon or any other laptop. So this is the limited result right now for the current generation, but it gives you an idea for how things are going to work and perform. So Topaz Video AI configuration guide will be the end, but if this is your only task you're doing, none of what I'm about to tell you right now regarding the silicon segmentation or the upgrade priority will make any sense whatsoever, because it doesn't follow any of those guidelines for these programs. And even if you follow that, you're going to get a marginal gain at best for spending way more money. So really think about the predominantly tasks that you do on your computer. So for some background and statistic, this is the video that I have that I'll be doing testing as part of my student project when I was in school a while back. We were working as a team. This is also an interlaced footage from a mini DV camera. Here are the stats. It is a 480 video that was shot on a cassette, and when we had to bring it in, we had to use Firewire. It was 1-to-1. It was pretty much painful back then. The file size itself, the original one is 1.03 gigabyte, and the duration is 12 minutes 27 seconds. So these are the settings that I have used in Video AI. I've also done the interlace, and I use a DV footage. So this one will do the de-interlacing for me, which is definitely helpful in this regard. So you can take a look there, the different field, order, focus fix, and the export is H.264 with a profile high. So this way, the setting I'm using to test for this footage on all the machines. This is pretty much just the way how it looks, and you can see how there are de-interlacing or interlacing lines right there in this particular footage. So here's how you would read the result. And let's take a look at the result from Topaz Video AI. I'm also going to put the price of the machine next to it. This way you get a chance to see and do some more comparisons. So predominantly, it goes in and it utilizes the GPU in the system. Now, the way how it uses the frequency or the speed of the GPU and the numbers of cores in combination, it's quite strange. It doesn't make any logical sense because there are certain machines that have more cores that are not running that much faster in terms of GPU. And there are some of them that have less cores, but are a newer generation that are running faster. You're gonna see that in the result in just a moment when I give you the analysis. Secondary, it used the NPU, and I said not so much. The reason why is because it runs the AI model on the NPU, the neural processing engine, but that's about it. Where it stitches all the footage that you've upscaled together is done using the GPU. And it's also not utilizing the encoder and decoder engine on the machine because timing wise it would have been much more drastic this. Now there's no way for me to definitively test that, but looking at the results you can kind of get an idea how that is not really being utilized. So a couple things that I do want to point out about the NPU is that every other machine has double the amount of NPU, and if it's really going to utilize NPU, all of those with 32 cores are supposed to be at the top of the chart, but we don't have that. A couple other things to note is that the base M3 Ultra is pulling ahead of everything else. This is the top M4 Max, base M2 Ultra, base M4 Max, and top M3 Ultra. Let's get this out of the way first. Top M3 Ultra, this one right here, this is not the only result that shows anomaly where it's not performing the best, it's not performing at the very top of the game. There are other tests that I have done in photo video where it just shows that the app can't go in and utilize the resources, the extra CPU and GPU core on this silicon very well. So just something to note there. And you can see how this all just cascade down there. But personally for me, I would argue that if this is the only thing that you do, I would probably just, if you're looking to get a new machine, get the M4 Pro. This is the price tag and just run this. Because to upgrade to even, for example, the M3 Ultra, you're looking at, close to what? $2,600 more. To upgrade to, for example, a Max, I don't think it makes that much more sense anymore. Or even just to upgrade to this one. I mean, this one, when it's on sale, the base Max Silicon may be worthwhile to save that, about a minute or so in your workflow. So it really all depends where you are and what you do predominantly. But overall, I don't think this program scales really well and utilize the system resources well at all. But this is how they are planning out in this current version of software running on the current operating system, which is 15.3.2 Sequoia. So now that you know that, hopefully you find this information helpful. Like I said, choose based on what you need. There's really no all-around winner. I would just do it predominantly based on the app that you're spending the most amount of time on. And I would hope that majority of you are using Topaz Video AI more as an ancillary program rather than the primary program. But if you use it as a primary, that chart will give you a lot more information than you need. New purchasers, obviously, like I said, I already explained that. If you're upgrading, depending on where you are, you might be just okay if you're just going to use it to run this program. And the upgrade priority, this is what I was saying earlier, that it doesn't make any sense at all because we have a machine with more RAM and everything, but the system doesn't really scale in a way that makes a lot of sense for this particular program. So that reality just kind of falls apart a little bit for this app. This chart is still helpful for those of you that are doing other creative application as the primary usage. Good, better, best, read this across. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. You can pause the video, you can analyze this and watch my other ones. Here's the upgraded chart for those that you're upgrading to think about. But overall, I would just say if you're just running Topaz Video AI, just wait a little bit longer and just run it on a machine that consume the least amount of energy, and it's also, costs the least amount of money to run. So that's my thought on Topaz Video AI. Anyway, hope you find this helpful. If you have any questions or comment, leave them below. Give this a like, subscribe, and hit the bell you need. I'm Art, and I thank you for your time.